Hey guys, Paulie here from Mariners TV. Today I'm sitting here with Nick, who's one of our legend parents. His son Ozzy plays for the reserves. Probably scored one of the goals of the season for us, I think, young Austin. He probably scored, was about 25, 30 yards out. It was an absolute rocket. So for those of you that have probably seen young Ozzy playing at right back, he's a right back scoring a goal from 30 yards out. Mental. So very proud dad and mum, of course. Now, Nick has recently had some medical emergency procedures done, and we thought it'd be pretty important to get him on Mariners TV and just let him tell his story, and we'll get to the point of why we're doing that. So without further ado, because the old boy's about to fall asleep, Nick, tell us what happened, mate.
No worries. I just was experiencing mild headaches. Didn't think much of them, brushed them off with Panadol, and then they were lasting about 3 weeks. And then I went, one day I got really dizzy.
Yeah.
And then after that I thought, no, that's not right, went to the doctor.
Yeah.
And then after that, he said, no, you're saying he's not happy with it, so an MRI.
Yeah.
And then they saw the bleed in the brain.
Bleed the brain. Wow.
And
okay.
I couldn't, there was no trauma with it or anything like that, so just one of those things.
Yeah.
Straight to Monash Hospital, went through all the tests that they want to do. They weren't happy, so they called an aggressive operation just to get the bleed out, and very lucky and grateful.
All right, show us the scar. Let's have a look at that.
Well, that's not too.
Getting there.
It's recovered a lot now.
Just there, and they put the staples through there. He needs to get his hair cut, but yeah.
Not that I had any, but anyway,
you go,
that's all
yeah,
right. That's why I
yeah.
wear a cap. So,
Solar panel for a party animal.
yeah, whatever they call it nowadays.
We'll keep it. So that's called a subdural hematoma, for those of you wondering what exactly it was that Nick has experienced. So you were telling me on the way down to Civic today that you can't actually remember bumping your head.
No, there's no, but they did find an old bump.
Yep.
Or they called it membrane of an old like trauma.
Yep.
I still can't remember anything, and but they did say it could be as minimal as just bumping your head as getting into the car. So
Okay, the bastard can't remember owing me $100 either. By the way. Anyway.
oh no, I've got a lot.
Nick's actually put $100 over the bar for the boys over at the club here when we had a win, so and he wasn't even there. So he's a top player.
Yeah, no, you got to support it.
Have to. Now, with the operation that you've had, you were telling me they've taken like a 50-cent piece size of your skull out. They've gone in there. They've done what they've had to do.
Yep.
They found that your brain had actually been moved over 5 mil.
5 mil from the pressure of the blood. Yeah.
Wow.
So
Yeah. So that's
they were pretty surprised that I was actually still talking.
Yeah.
And conscious. So a
Yeah.
bit of a. I thought I ran with it being a novelty at first, but it's not since I've had the operation that I feel the severity of it all.
Yeah, for sure. What's your recovery time from this initial procedure that you've had done, mate?
6 weeks. 6 weeks minimum.
Yeah.
From being discharged from hospital to seeing a surgeon. So,
Right.
and that's pretty much the best I can do is a light walk around the block. That's what I've been told to do.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And so when you're doing that sort of light walk, have you started doing that yet?
Yes, just a basic walk, nothing major, just footpath. Got to be careful of unsteady ground.
Yeah.
Probably 20-minute walk max.
Okay.
But then I get tired, so
Yeah,
I can see why they say that.
absolutely. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. What you've been told so far from the specialists, side effects, short term, long term, have they give you any?
No,
idea?
they did. They said before I went into the operation, they said short term I could have slurred speech and sort of limited movement, but they said that would go.
So you'll fit in well over at the Bowls Club on a Saturday night.
Too right I will, especially after a few beers as well. When I'm allowed.
When he's allowed, yes, yeah.
So but long term they said I'll be okay, but it's just a short term. So
Yeah, short term, yeah. And that's like short term memory loss is just something that will be with you for the rest of your days, or?
I hope not, because I can feel it, but I don't think so. They
Yes.
said it's just, and an interesting thing was they said with anesthesia
Yep.
that you get this fatigue and brain You
Yes.
know, and thinking process slows down anyway, and that can take a while to recover from
Yeah.
that. So
So if there was, you know, so like touch wood, you never have to, but if you had to go under the knife for something completely unrelated to say, you know, you got to have something done with your hip or whatever it be, can you go under general anaesthetic now you've been
Yes.
through this? You
Yeah.
can. Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
So
All
there's
right.
I think after the 6 weeks and then closely being monitored with scans,
Yeah.
they'll see how it's all going.
Yeah.
And then after that, it should be hopefully life as normal, but very cautious.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Probably helmets, you know, and Mum, you'll be pleased to hear that.
And one of the old yellow stack hats, you'll see Nico running around the outside.
If
with
I'm
the
running
stack hat
lines
on.
for you again,
Absolutely,
if I ever do,
yeah.
I'll wear a stack.
The main thing that quite a few of us are, I guess, addicted to is alcohol and caffeine.
Caffeine's okay.
Yeah,
Alcohol's a big no-no at the moment.
at the moment, yeah.
So I went to the GP and just said, am I allowed a wine or a beer?
Yeah.
And he after 2 weeks, he goes, you can have one beer or one wine over dinner. So I've just been watering it down to a shandy.
Yeah. Did you specify the size of the one?
No, I can find out for you if you want.
I got one of those wine glasses, got a bottle attached to it. We'll bring you one of them, have a couple of reds.
So I'm actually quite grateful COVID's kicked in, selfishly, because you know, I don't have to see you blokes and have a beer when the seniors are playing.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's just me being selfish.
Yeah, well, small, you know.
You've got to get little wins.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I touched on, as we started this, was that the whole idea of getting Nick in today was to make people aware of, we look after ourselves, guys, and I guess listen to our body if it's telling us, you know,
100%.
I'm not well, or, you know, I've got a gut ache or I've got a headache, whatever. We've got to get it sorted out. This particular brain bleed that Nick's had, some of the symptoms, I went on Google, so I always ask Dr. Google, but Nick's just sort of like confirmed that we've got head pain. Well, that would be probably a given. Neck or back pain. So did you experience any neck
pain?
No.
No, just a really mild headache
Yeah.
that you just brushed off with a painkiller.
Yeah. So, you know, neck stiffness, vision changes, photophobia, weakness on the side of your face or body, slurred speech when he's pissed, lethargy when he's hungover. Yeah. So that gives you an idea of what he's been through. Some of the symptoms, he had one of those was it head pain. So,
and you brush it off.
when you brush it off, you think, I'm tired, or you know,
not enough water.
Not enough water. I haven't had a coffee for a couple of days. I'm starting to, you know,
Feel the effects.
Yeah. So all those kind of things. So our message to you from Mariners TV, to everyone that's watching, and particularly, everyone, but in particular the guys we've got playing for us, if you've got a little niggle, don't push on. If you're not feeling the best mentally, physically, come and talk to somebody, whether it's one of the guys at the club, whether it's Nick, he's always hanging over the fence. You have some pretty good banter, training night zones like game days. Talk to somebody. My biggest thing that I've personally gone through recently, he's been having someone to talk to on a personal issue, and we've come out the other side and we're starting to kick ass. So, mate, I wish you all the best.
No worries.
Thank you so much for coming on to Mariners TV.
Not a problem at all.
Important. If you see him around, go up, give him a pat on the back. Wish him all the best.
And don't be a hero. Just get it checked
Don't be a
out.
hero.
It's not hard.
Yeah,
You know, otherwise I might not be here doing this if I didn't.
Good on you, mate.
Yeah, good on you guys.
Nico. Cheers, mate.
Not a
all the
problem
best.
at all.
Pull you out. See ya.
Let's have a shandy.